Okay, so this is just a presentation, Druid for developers. Druid has a great SOAP API, and plain is how you can sort of use the SOAP API using a couple of basic examples and describing how you can basically use it to create very useful applications that can basically monetize your phone system and actually allow your phone system to do a lot of other things for your organization. Hey, first, I'm just going to briefly talk about the code of Druid, and I'll go through this really quickly because it's just starts a basic thing. So Druid is modular. It uses this MVC-like PHP frame. So you can see here there are tons of functions that you have access to. And you notice something, you have a module and you have a function call. And in fact, in here, you can see all of the functions that you have access to. So I can even click documentation and I can actually see, okay, how is this function working? So I can even scroll on this too. But so you can see here, this is just a function call that you would make, and you can just pass the same thing into SOAP. And you notice this user type variable, you have regular for the user portal, and you have admin for the admin interface. So see, the admin takes quite a bit of time, actually. But you can see here, you get access to all of these admin functions here. And
how many functions do you have right now?
Let's see. It just keeps going, doesn't it? So it looks like we have about 246 functions in the admin interface. So that's and basically these are all configuration directives in Druid that you can use. So it's almost as if you could run Druid without an interface at all and just access all of these functions by yourself, writing your own interface. You can almost write your own GUI if you feel like it.
So why would this be interesting from the ITSP perspective?
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. Set up your own VPN, create your own managed framework, and disable access to the website from the outside. Okay, so I'm going to go through the brief example, and many of you have heard of Sugar CRM. David from Solos basically talked a lot about how he uses Sugar CRM in his company, and he actually integrates that for people. So this is just a basic example using Sugar CRM and creating sort of a click-to-call link. What I want to do from Sugar is that I have all these phone numbers as part of my contacts. I just want to click them. And it really describes several concepts. So I can program SOAP with PHP. I can integrate with a popular open source application. And I can optimize the calling process for my CRM. And this is really easy. So let me just log in. It's wrong password. So this is Sugar CRM. I think most people are familiar. I'm going to give a contact here. So for today, I'm in Mundo. So what I want to do is, you see here, all the phone numbers. If you notice Sugar, normally these phone numbers are just listed. They're just plain text. But I've turned them all into links. So just click one. And see here, it's ringing my phone. I'm going to answer. And I'm ringing my BlackBerry here. So very simple, very easy to use. Nothing special. As far as using it, but quite powerful. So yeah, you can see here the image of this. So here's the code behind it, and you can see it's very, very brief. And all these code samples, by the way, are available on our forums, and they're available if anyone emails us. We can just send you the code packages. But very simply, I mean, it's a simple thing. I want to log in. There's a function that we use called handle login, and it's a two-stage login process. What I do first is I call it with no parameters. Then I get a nonce, and then from there I just perform sort of a chat authentication here, and just send this back over. And then this is really the heart of the app. You can see here there's a function call which allows me to call any number from anywhere, and I just use this number and I just pass it in as an argument. So very, very simple, easy to use, and all I do is I just tie this function call to the link I made on the page. So there's another really cool example. There's a Android. Android is this new open source mobile platform from Google. It's Linux based, and it really is now, I think, it's going to be sort of the key competitor probably to the iPhone, in a sense that they're also going an app store and actually producing applications in a very easy to use form. And one thing that you can do very easily is actually develop for it. Developing for it, you can use, it's Java based, it's very easy to use. It's pretty straightforward. So one of the things I'm going to show you is that it integrates. This is a mobile platform, and we have a SOAP API, and this is using sort of a base SOAP API, which I'll get into a little bit. It's very useful for smaller platforms, and we can also see how Android works. Okay. You can see it booting up here. So while it's booting up, any questions so far?
Actually, I do. So technically, could I cluster a whole bunch of Druid servers together, and then what we do is just don't use any Druid, but use SOAP calls to do some sort of web service, right? Associated mobility and stuff like that. You could.
Absolutely. And as long as you set up the proper network infrastructure, it's very easy to do.
People just download clients.
Yeah, clients like this that just use the mobile. So I'll log in. So, by the way, I'm logging into our open source platform. So it's extension and pin and then the server. So that's another advantage too, is that all of these APIs are available for our open source platform. So whatever you're using, you could just download it off the web and just build your applications immediately. You're not forced to buy any commercial version. You can develop on it. You can even use it as your development platform, when you're on the road, and then deploy it in an enterprise situation with our commercial. It's the same API. You're not limited in any way. So, I mean, basically, this is a very basic application, and you can see I have a ton of missed calls, and it's just a listing of missed calls here. So this is just a proof of concept, so this is pretty much the base functionality for now. But as going ahead, this could definitely be expanded. This could be very similar to the BlackBerry that I showed yesterday, where you have all those items, and you can actually control your call routing and do all kinds of things just from a mobile application that you wrote yourself. You don't have to, you can download this SDK for free. You can download Druid OSE for free. Program it yourself if you don't want to, pay us all the money. And the code for that I will make available to anyone who's interested afterwards. So shots. And so one of the things that with mobile platforms, you want to keep your code base very small. Typically, you don't